Mandatory ROTC, a threat or a help to the youth. ROTC stands for Reserve Officers Training Corps that aims for the leadership and discipline. It's been an issue for the past few years here in our country, even before the term of our current president. Some says or claim that it is good, not just for the youth, but also for the country, but some stand the other way. However, just last year, when President Rodrigo Roa Duterte stated that he wants a mandatory ROTC for grade 11 and grade 12 students for private and public senior high school institutions. Many have agreed and disagreed to his statement. Comments and positions regarding the matter spread over the social networks and some on news. Some of the Filipinos argued that it is just an additional conundrum to the country. Corruption will be activated on the program, it will be against the freedom of the Filipino people, and etc. But how about the benefits and advantages of this program? Should it be neglected? Should we not give it a try again? For the current situation of the mandatory ROTC, it is on its second Senate reading, and people in some organizations that are against this are taking actions to stop and persuade people that mandatory ROTC is unnecessary. Just a while ago, there was these 3 students from an organization that discussed their stance about the mandatory ROTC. They elaborated their reasons for being against the program. They have stated 3 factors that affect people if it will be mandatory. First is that it will stop or prevent people from being patriotic because, according to them, rallies of the students or concerned citizens may be blocked because of the program. Second, it could be an act of abusement and harassment for some. They said that rape and hazing have existed and may exist again if the program is implemented. Disciplinary actions are severe. They make people slaves of the rules and commandments. And lastly, it's just an additional cost for some. Being in favor of the mandatory ROTC made me think the other way of these arguments. Why? Simply because I think they have exaggerated the word mandatory. First, isn't training to have a basic military knowledge to be used for a country if there will be some instance for it to use is a patriotism? Second, disciplinary actions and rules are minimal ways of training a cadet to be disciplined. It is not bad to obey rules and face a punishment if you didn't meet the standards of the rules and regulations. We, especially youth, often overstate the word freedom. Having rules doesn't mean that you become a slave or you don't meet the freedom that you should have. But instead, having rules is to control and lead people to the betterment. Nevertheless, if you wouldn't be able to finish the things that you should have done, then it is okay to have consequences towards your actions. Third, it will not cost you that money, or rather, it will not cost you that much of money. It may for once, but not repeatedly. Lastly, stating that it is mandatory doesn't mean that there are no exemptions. As stated in an article, those who are physically or psychologically unfit, those who have undergone or undergoing similar military training, those who are chosen by their school to serve as the school's varsity players in sports competition, and the people who may be exempted from training for valid reasons as proved upon recommendation by an educational institution where the concerned student is enrolled, are exempted in the program for ongoing second reading of the mandatory ROTC bill. For those students who really don't want ROTC, it is a program for discipline, and it could help us to be more responsible and much disciplined, knowing that it is quite observable that we, the youth, are lacking of discipline nowadays. Few years are not that much to support, be part, and practice the aims of ROTC.